What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I am Alex, and I'm joined by a pretty special guest to review the Five Nights at Freddy's film. We have watched it. I think we maybe have different enjoyment levels of it, but we're going to talk about. You have like a notepad, and we're going to talk about how we feel of the movie. You also have some questions, I think, of the movie and maybe of the future. I want to start, Amelia. I don't even know if I said your name. This is Amelia. So there you go. There's the announcement. I want to start just with your kind of general thoughts of the film. Did you like it? Was it scary? I got to be honest, it wasn't scary. I was kind of worried for you that it'd be too like jump scary, but those guys that broke in, like that's kind of it, right? Maybe the beginning. It was actually a pretty calm, tame kind of movie.
Yeah, it barely had any blood.
Yeah,
I was expecting like 50 times more.
Yeah, no blood. What'd you think of the, let's call them eliminations just for YouTube, when people got eliminated? Not a lot. Not a lot of people being taken out. Did you think there'd be more?
There should be, but I think they're only gonna do like 2 people per film at most.
Well, they took out way more than that. Because they took out the jailbreaker, the people that broke in, and then, oh, maybe that was it. Was that it? Those
Well,
4?
They mentioned.
Oh, yeah, they mentioned people in the past. Well, what'd you think of the movie just as a whole?
I mean, I think it was cool that they made the animatronics in real life.
Yeah.
But I feel like the overall like story.
Well, yeah, it was definitely not what I was expecting. Because, like, they had moments from the game, like, you know, the cameras and looking, and then they would look back, right, and they'd kind of freeze. But beyond that, it was a story of that Michael, of the character Michael, right? It was him, his sister, the childhood kind of memories of him, and that was, like, the movie. And then I liked the ending. The ending was kind of fun.
The ending was the best.
Yeah. I got to shout out, you don't know, but, you know, Matthew Lillard, who plays the, what's his name? William?
William Afton.
Yeah. He's very Shaggy and Scooby-Doo. Obviously my favorite of Ghostface and Scream. He's extremely good. He's only in it twice. We won't spoil. Let's not spoil the ending. But he's very good in his role. And the ending, I think, the ending's, like, pretty fun. The animatronics are very, you know, moving around. They're very active, right? But overall, it takes the animatronics aren't in the movie for me as much as I think I would have wanted them to be. You know?
Yeah, and I feel like it kind of ruined it when they were being nice to Abby because
Yes.
that just ruins the whole part of FNAF. The whole reason.
Yeah. I think we can get into a little spoilers there. So about, I would say, maybe 60% of the way through, you realize that they're kind of good guys, and they're not going to hurt the girl, right? To kind of keep a non-spoiler, right? They're not going to hurt the girl, and only when things start, you know, when she does picture stuff, then it changes. But about halfway through, you realize, well, they're not really going to hurt him all that much, and they're not going to touch her. So they're not really a threat. So I feel like that, to me, yeah, it kind of brings down the scare factor where you're not worried. He's going to work, they're dancing, they're doing a dance party, you know, and you're not really afraid. Whereas the game, you know, and us having played, I did the video on the one channel of the first game. We played a little of the second game. Game's scary. You are trapped. They're coming after you. You got to, you know, check the doors and lights, and that's the game, right? There's no dancing. They're nice to you. They're after you.
Yeah, and I think the one of the main problems with like the animatronics not being like in the game.
Yeah.
One of them was that randomly it will make withered Freddy at random moments, and then he goes completely back to normal.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you called that out. You knew the forms and versions of him. It didn't make sense. They didn't really explain it. What did you think of, and then I'll let you get to your notes. We'll leave that at the end. Let's talk about them themselves. You know, you mentioned like it's cool that they actually built them. They looked I'll give that, you know, praise. They looked really good. Like that looked like it was probably fun to film it. It was fun probably to act, you know, the actors. But I think they did a really good job of just the movement, like they looked. I mean, they are real because they built them, but I think they did a really good job, right?
Yeah, but they kind of had it be kind of confusing because like I get it with the spring locks, but then at certain points, it would show like when the girl was peering into Freddy's mouth, he had the endoskeleton in him. So is it the endoskeleton or is it the human?
Do you think that the people who made it like didn't know fully that they don't? Do you think they're like diehard people, or you think no?
No, they probably only like were like, okay, the base covered.
Yeah, the base.
Fine.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's probably fair. You knew of him. I just want to throw out, and then we'll get to your notes. Matt Pat from Game Theory, is that the? Yeah, he's in it as a nice little quick cameo. It would have been really cool to see Markiplier. I mean, now that we've seen him, we know, for sure he wasn't there. I thought that was a pretty sweet cameo from him. Maybe like a little Jacksepticeye stuff next time, throw a couple YouTubers in. But it was cool. I don't think it was a terrible movie at all because I think the ending was actually really fun. I think it had its moments. I think anytime the animatronics are on screen, it's pretty fun because at least they're cool to look at always, right? It didn't really focus on them. It definitely didn't have much to do with the game. He didn't even get called every night to kind of be like updated from, so
Home guy.
yeah, which would have been the William, right? He would have technically been kind of the guy because he sent him there. And the way he was talking, where he said like flip on the thing, I thought he would call every night and say, okay, now this is gonna happen. They didn't do that, so they used the game as the base, but then they really left it to explore him and his sister.
They took a lot of creative liberties.
Yeah. We're doing good on time. Do you have any notes or questions you want to throw in?
One question was that how come Cupcake was the only animatronic that was actually out to get
Michael?
yeah.
Yeah, and how did he even I guess I don't want to spoil it. They get injured, let's say. I guess they don't get injured all that much. He really zapped that Cupcake thing, but then it still came back. So obviously it doesn't. I mean, you can only stun them basically, right?
Yeah. Kind of like in Security Breach when Gregory has the laser gun.
Oh yeah.
He stuns them.
Do you think he wrote "always come back" without spoiling it? You think who would come back for future movies? I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that the guy.
I got the voice line that I needed. That's all I need.
What else? You got anything else you want to say?
One of them was why did when the girl was peering in Freddy's mouth, why was she putting her head in his mouth? Like that was the stupidest decision you could ever make.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Considering they're deathly.
Well, she didn't know. She didn't know.
But, you don't put your head near anything's
Yeah,
mouth.
she went all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another was how come Foxy, usually in the game, he's darting across the hall after you. How come he's the slowest one?
They did it once. They did it once with Michael when he was trying to open the door. And they didn't show it, but I think they made noise to him.
The original security guard?
No, because when Michael was trying to open the door, he was walking slow, but then he darted as he pushed the door open.
Oh.
So they did do it once, but they never did it. I think the reason is because they literally built them. I think they couldn't show them move fast. Because they did show them walk a little, and they would take one step, very slow, because they're real, right? So if you show them sprinting down a hallway, that would be probably. So I agree with you. They didn't show it, and that's one of the iconic things of it. But I think literally because they were trying to build it, they probably couldn't. You can't make that machine run across a hallway,
One other thing I don't understand, spoiler alert.
Wait. Spoiler alert. You gotta really make sure. Okay, go ahead. This is for turn away, right? If you don't want to know. All right, go ahead.
how they said that Vanessa was William's daughter. How does that work? Because, like, I know he only has 3 children, one teenager who I forgot the name of, and then Elizabeth Afton is the only girl in the family besides Ballora, his wife.
So they, and you said, what's the security guard's name?
Michael.
No, the girl.
Oh,
Or the police.
Vanessa.
Vanessa. And you said she's from Security Breach?
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. So they took two characters from the lore, and when they weren't connected, and they connected them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's
one of
That's common movie, tampering. Like messing with. That's common movie messing with established things. It's just throw you through a loop, and then did they see? I told you I don't think they ever said Michael's last name, so I think
no,
they left
they
that
didn't.
open.
They didn't. But they kind of hint at it because when he was about to say the last name.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah,
he
he had like a
went,
look on his
"Oh."
face. Yeah.
And that made me think. Wait.
Yeah. I think that
if
was.
this is a FNAF movie, he
Yeah.
probably knows about the Aftons.
Yeah.
So his last name was probably Afton. And then when I heard the name Michael get thrown
Yeah.
around, Michael Afton.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was a hint. I bet they explore that in next movie. Like if it keeps going, they probably bring up that he has a last name that he didn't know of, or whatever stuff like that. Well, anything else?
One other thing I don't get, back to the last name thing, if his last name is Afton, then wouldn't that mean him and Vanessa are related?
Yeah.
Because, but then he only knows about,
But see, she was around with his brother, right? She knew that his brother and her. I mean, if we're doing spoilers, and her dad's the one who did it, so they all could be connected in terms of like family, and he just may not, and she may not know it. Maybe only the dad knows it, because he's the one who saw the name and he had the expression. So he might know it, but she probably doesn't, and Michael probably doesn't. I bet you that's something they could do in the future, So yeah.
I was kind of waiting for Spring Bonnie because it showed in, they literally said a yellow bunny, and all I could think of, I had a book of it,
Yeah.
was Spring Bonnie, because he's the only one that's really a yellow Bonnie.
Yeah.
And that, or bunny. And when it showed Springtrap, I thought, wait, isn't he green? Because, in most of the games, he appears to be green.
So they changed that?
Yeah.
Well, you got to save some animatronics for the future. So it's your Bonnie thing. I think that's probably they got several, right? And there was no Golden Freddy. Well, or was what was William supposed to be? That's not Golden Freddy, is it?
No.
That's something.
He's supposed to be. William is, I think, supposed to be Springtrap, but the overall design of the costume looked more like Spring Bonnie, just withered, basically.
Yeah, I'm sure they're saving some for
the next one.
Yeah, some for the next one. Yeah. Well, there you go. I thought that was fun. So overall, okay movie. I mean, we watched it at home, right? Now you could see this in theaters. I don't know if it would be worth. I think it was fun to just watch it at home and sit back and, on Peacock, so on a streaming thing. But I don't think it was great. I think it had pretty okay moments you could build on for the next one. But I think they got to get back. I think you need to be at what's literally called Freddy Fazbear's, right? That's the name of it. You need to be there, I think, more often. They were at the school. They were at his house a lot. I think they need to focus on being there. The game is, they did, but not the whole thing. Maybe like maybe half, maybe 60%. I actually think so, because there's a lot of dream sequences. He was in this dream a lot, so and the amount of times he was in watching the cameras with them, the animatronics, was not.
He rarely watched the cameras. He was like,
Yeah,
okay,
he wasn't that
glance,
good.
done.
He literally took the job to sleep.
Yeah.
That's what he did. Most of the time he was there was sleep.
Yeah. I feel like when Abby screamed,
It broke him out of the dream.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because, and when it was still in the dream sequence, you could hear her scream.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, well, she did.
No.
And then she goes, they were tickling me.
Yeah.
Like, how?
Yeah.
And at random times, their fingers could bend, but when they were lifting the tables and stuff for the fort, they had to, like, move their hands only in certain ways. They can't, like, bend their fingers or anything. And then all of a sudden, Chica can bend her fingers.
For the guitar, yeah. Don't ever play that guitar; it'll electrocute you. It never touch it. But so there you go. So there's our thoughts on the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Hopefully we can do it again in 1 to 2 years whenever they make the sequel, right? So let us know what you think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, and we hope to see you all on the next one.